Hello, dear viewer. You're right. Guess what? It's just me. I've gone and made an error, haven't I? Imagine the situation. It's 11:30, Saturday night. I have a look in our podcast WhatsApp group. There's a message from Goonaholic. Are you doing your preview today? And then another one saying, it's about 10 o'clock. Another one about 11:30 saying, I think you might have forgotten. Guess what? I've forgotten. So that means I'm all by myself. At this point, normally I'd go, I've got a wonderful person to do it with me. No, there's no one here to control me. There's no one here to tell you, to tell me, to tell them to shut up and get on with it. So I'm going to do my very best to get this done. So I've quickly written out all the important facts, and I'm doing it on my own. I've moved my Tony Adams. It's there. Isn't that wonderful? I've got a new camera set up, looking very nice. Anyway, to the point of this, the preview for Burnley v Arsenal tomorrow. It's going to kick off at 3 p.m. Where can you see the game? I hear nobody asking. Apparently, in the UK, in Ireland, and if you want to listen to it on the radio, you have to go to Clarets Player, and you need to log in, and you can listen there. It says you can watch it there. I'd find that very hard to believe because of that blackout law where the no games are allowed to be on TV from 2:45 to 5:15 on it's a Sunday, isn't it? Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. I should be watching it elsewhere. You know what I mean? In Australia, Optus Sport, Canada, TSN GO, the USA, MSNBC, and the mystery country is Argentina. Direct Play Deportes or DIRECTV Sports Argentina. Who'd have thought it? Right, head-to-head, v Burnley, all competitions. We've played 106 games. Arsenal won 52. We have drawn 21. And Burnley have won 33. Not overly impressive, but a lot of those, I was looking back to the very first days when we played in the league in the 1900s. I think we lost 7 or 8 of the first games because Burnley used to be magnificent back then. Right, the last 4 games that we've played against them in the Premier League at Burnley. 2017-18, we beat them 1-0. Alexis Sanchez, 90th minute penalty. I don't remember that. How was that possible? Oh, I know. It was probably before the transfer window when he left. Normally it'd be someone here to shout that at me. 16-17, beating them 1-0 again at their place. Another 90th minute goal, Laurent Koscielny. Don't remember that either. 14-15, again 1-0, their place. Aaron Ramsey, 12th minute goal. And the one before that was 2009-10, 1-1 at Burnley. Cesc Fabregas with a 7th minute goal. Current form for the last 4 Premier League games. Arsenal's away form. You'll be very aware of this. It's shocking. Played 4, 1-1, drawn 0, lost 3, scored 2, conceded 7, and we had 1 clean sheet. That's shocking news. I'm very sad with that. Burnley at home in the Premier League played 4, 1-2, drawn none, lost 2, scored 5, conceded 3, and had 2 clean sheets. They were in trouble around Christmas, changed their goalkeeper, and they've saved themselves from relegation. I quite like Burnley. I like the fact that they're determined. So their last 4 home games, they lost 1-0 to Man City. They beat Cardiff 2-0, beat Wolves 2-0, and they lost 2-1 to Leicester City. Injuries and suspensions. Arsenal. Welbeck is back in full training. If you saw that on Twitter today, that's good news. Might be a surprise inclusion in the Europa League final, which is on the 29th of May. Ramsey is not in the injured list, but I'm sure he won't be playing because he's already said Valencia was his last game. Holding, Bellerin and Suarez out for the season. For Burnley, Phil Bardsley, right back, leg laceration, slight doubt, late injury test. Robbie Brady, left midfield, muscular injury, he's out. Stephen Defoe, central midfielder, calf strain, he's out. And finally, Aaron Lennon, right winger, cartilage knee injury, he's also out. Now, normally when I do the formations, I have to spend about half an hour doing it, going back and looking at the last 6 or 7 games they've played, looking at the formations, looking at the players played. This has been the easiest one I've ever done, dear listener. Viewer, not listener. Burnley have played a 4-4-2 for the last 17 Premier League games. Wood and Barnes, not Wooden Barnes, that's where you keep animals. Wood and Barnes play up front. McNeil and Hendrick play on the wings. And they have done for, I think, 6 of the last 7 Premier League games. But in the last game, they lost 2-0 to Everton, and Brady and Goodmanson played on the wings, but then they brought on McNeil and Hendrick to replace them in the second half, and they always play Westwood and Cork in the middle of the pitch. In goal, you've got Heaton, He missed the first 17 Premier League games when they had Joe Hart in goal. That's when they were in relegation, bottom of the league. Then they swapped him around and put Heaton back in goal. Heaton's played 18 consecutive Premier League games. And they have got me and Tarkowski as the centre-back pairing. They've played nearly all season. And Taylor and Lowton as the full-backs. This is the most settled team, like I was saying, I've seen that I've done in any of the previews. And then I'll put some stats here. You ready? Hold on to your Y-fronts. Me, Taylor and Wood. Not me, but the player me. Because I've not played any games for Burnley. Not that I remember. I've played all 37 Premier League games this season. Barnes and Cork have only missed one Premier League game this season. And Tarkowski and Westwood have played 34 and 33. That's 7 players who have played nearly every single game for Burnley this season in the Premier League. That reminds me of the Arsenal days, the good old days, where we would have the same 11 players playing nearly every single game of the season. So, Burnley, he said Barnsley. No one cares about Barnsley. Burnley players to look out for. Right, I've gone by goals scored and assists, and they've not really had much. Ashley Barnes, centre forward, 36 Premier League games, and 11 goals with 2 assists. That's just over 1 in 3, or just under 1 in 3. Chris Wood, centre forward, 37 Premier League games, 10 goals, 2 assists. And Johan Berg Gudmundsson, I don't know how I can say that. Don't ask. Right winger, 28 games, 3 goals and 5 assists. I get the feeling he's been dropped recently because that's not a very good ratio of games with goals and assists. Dwight McNeil, left wing, 20 games. They bought him in January, I think. 20 games, 3 goals, 5 assists. That's not a bad record. And Ashley Westwood, defensive midfielder, 33 games, 2 goals and 7 assists. Right, it's about this point, dear viewer, that I would hand over to my glamorous guest and say, what's your thought on the game? So, Dora, Bergie, Betty, Lily, have any of you got any thoughts on the game? Nothing. I don't know what to do now. My thoughts on the game, it's not going to be easy. I would hope that Emery is going to drop every single... no. I'll drop every single player. Spurs are a goal difference of 8 ahead of us. So if we win 4-0, they lose 4-0, we will go ahead of them in the league because we have scored 5 more Premier League goals this season than they have. I'm sure that's the situation. If that's not the situation, then yes, it is. I was talking to Nicky Wilson. He was doing Twitch earlier, and I said on there, just let me check. Spurs have scored 65. Arsenal have scored 70. So didn't this happen a few years ago? Some of you are nodding. Some of you have got no idea. Some of you are gone. A few seasons ago when Newcastle thrashed them at the last game of the season so that we could go... There's a cat. No. Last game of the season, and there was quite a goal swing, wasn't there, by Newcastle. Did they beat them 4-0, so we ended up going above them? I think it was something like that. But us away from home, the Europa League final coming up is going to be it's on the 29th. Today is the 12th. So that's 17 days. I think you could probably afford to play every player, couldn't we? But there again, we're almost... Man United could catch us and we could finish 5th. Who have Man United got? They are at home to Cardiff. Man United are definitely going to win tomorrow. Has Cardiff won any games recently? They went to Brighton and beat them 2-0. Other than that, they've lost 5 of the last 6 Premier League games. So is there much chance that Cardiff are going to go to Man United and win? I don't think so. So Man United are going to end up on 69 points. That's going to be above us. We either get 0, 1 or 3 points. So we can get 67 that we're on, 68 if we draw, 70 if we win. So we need to win. At least then we finish 5th above United. So do we go and play lots of youth players, a mixture of both? I think that's the best thing to do because Koscielny could do with a rest. He's played too many games recently. Aubameyang and Lacazette, I wouldn't bother risking either of those two because Burnley are known to play the dark arts. We don't want anybody getting injured. Actually, now I think about it, I think we should just drop all of our best players. Maybe play Eddie Nketiah up front. It'd be nice to see Willock the Younger get a game. Maybe a few of the players that played in our early rounds in the League Cup. Nice to see a few of those get in a game. That would be nice. What players played? Fixtures by competition. Let's have a look at that. I didn't even take a note of what time I started this at. That's terrible, isn't it? Go down and have a look at the League Cup. We played, we beat Brentford 3-1. We beat Blackpool 2-1. Some of the players that played in that game, Smith Rowe, he's out on loan. Iwobi might get a start out on the left. El Neni and imagine El Neni's going to get a game. That's not good, is it? Lichtsteiner and Monreal. Well, maybe so. Right back is going to be Lichtsteiner or Jenkinson if we do rest a few players. We're not going to catch Spurs. They're not going to lose 4-0. We're not going to win 4-0. And definitely neither of those things are going to happen at the same time. Against Blackpool, Maitland-Niles, right wing. Guendouzi and Ramsey in the middle. Julio Unpronounceable played at centre-back. Jenkinson played left-back. Excellent. Guendouzi got sent off for a second yellow card. Lichtsteiner played right-back. I could have sworn we played more players in the... maybe it's when we lost to Spurs. I forgot they knocked us out of the League Cup. When we played those... No, none of them. I bet someone is shouting at me now. It was the FA Cup games that we played them. Blackpool in the FA Cup. That might have been it. That might have been the one. Let's have a look. No. Lichtsteiner at centre-back. Jenkinson at right... And then he said Jenkinsons. Jenkinson at right back, El Neni and Ramsey in the middle, Willock, Iwobi. Zach Medley came on at centre back. Nice to see him get a game. Saka came and played left wing. Smith Rowe didn't play. I'd like to see some of those play. I think it's going to have to be. Would it be Cesc in goal for his last ever game there? That I'd love to see that. Cesc in goal and then Leno playing goal for the Europa League final because I don't care. Cesc is going back to Chelsea as a coach at the end of the season. No loyalty there. Leno, you're number one. Fruit. Get in there. Play against Chelsea. And I don't want Cesc accidentally going, falling over and let a goal in against Chelsea where I used to play for. I was a legend. And now I'm going back there in the summer. Smell what I'm cooking? Good. So I would go for that. I'd play Jenkinson at right back. I'd play probably Kolasinac left back, and then Medley and Mustafi. Hopefully Mustafi will get an injury and he can't fuck it up for us in the final. Probably going to be El Neni in the middle, Edin and Ketia up front. This is nonsense, isn't it? Willock playing behind him, and a couple of the other youngsters playing. But knowing Unai, he's just going to go and play the same team that we always play. The fit players, they're all going to play with the exception of Koscielny. And I reckon we're going to go there and we're going to beat them. No, I'll go for a 1-1 draw. Do they score many goals at home? I did have that up. I'm just going to go and have a look at Burnley. Do they score many goals at home? Fixtures and Premier League, home. They have scored 0, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. They average about one goal. So I'm going to give Burnley one goal. And they have let in quite a few away. I'm going to go for a sneaky 2-1 to Arsenal. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care anymore. I'm picking 2-1 Arsenal. So what do you think? No, I can't hear you because there's nobody there. I'm talking to myself. How long have I been doing this for? I think this is far too long. If I go here and then 12:42. No, I can't have been doing this for 25 minutes. That'd be wrong, wouldn't it? Anyway, there is one more, and I won't forget the last one. Preview coming up before the Europa League final. Sunday's game, it's going to be, I think it's me, Jason, and John. I could be wrong. I never know. I take no notice. And if it is us, we will be live 5 to 10 minutes after the final whistle when we overtake Spurs into fourth place and Spurs finish fifth. That'd be brilliant. It's the last time I'm doing one on my own. Right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you later. And that's it. I'm going to press stop now. Stop. Say goodbye, cats.